Once the Metropolitan Borough took over, the social services staff, the ones in authority tended to be the ones that had worked for Wigan Borough, and they were very much church orientated. Towards the end of 1974, I set up the Campaign for Homosexual Equality Group, local group in Wigan. And I was studying at Preston Polytechnic. And the new training manager for the social services department felt that I should not be employed. So he went to the staff at Preston Polytechnic and said they should fail me on the course. The staff refused and I passed with a distinction. But even before I came back to work for Metropolitan Borough of Wigan, I knew it wasn't going to be an easy situation because they tried to get rid of me, looking for a reason to sack me, I think. When I did come back, I was allocated to the INTS office, but the manager of the INTS office wouldn't let me enter the office at all. Because I'm gay, the manager wouldn't let me enter that office. He was a good Catholic family man who went on to take over a large Catholic social services organisation. But he wouldn't let me into the office. And so eventually they placed me at Standish, which in many ways was an easier job because INTS is an area that had a higher degree of social deprivation than Standish did. So, and it was the same with, when I put in for seniors posts, the issue of my personality would somehow crop up. And again, one particular manager, they just wouldn't even care. I didn't stand a chance. There was no equal opportunities, And it was the same among staff. Some were supportive, others weren't, but others wouldn't speak to me. Eventually I did become a senior social worker, psychiatric care at the Goulburn office. But even then there was always an undercurrent and things said behind your back, So, but I left Wigan Borough in 1983 and went to live in India and did some teaching there. And after that, I came back, worked in Lincolnshire for the probation service, and then moved from there. The last time I worked was for the probation service at the Atherton office. Oh, well, they've been totally transformed, although it's not been linear progression throughout those years, because there were issues, obviously, when AIDS came along in the 80s and 90s, and some people felt they just had a right to discriminate against staff or not to work with staff, or say hurtful things, But now, thankfully, the legal situation has totally changed. There are still some pockets of outright hatred, put it that way. But overall, no, it's light years away from what it was when I started work, because you had no protection at all. They could have sacked me for being gay. Lots of employers did. And if they couldn't, if my performance of work had not been, I feel, above average, that would have been used against me. I'm convinced of that.